The Raiders season is done. Stick a fork in it. We're sitting here at 2-10, and honestly, at this point, winning games is actually counterproductive. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Every loss from here on out improves our draft position, and we're talking about potentially landing a top 3 pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. We're in the thick of the race for that #1 overall selection, and with how bad we've been, we've got a legitimate shot at it. The Tennessee Titans are sitting at 111, we're at 210, and the Cleveland Browns are 3-9. This isn't just about tanking, it's about reality. We need elite talent, and the only way to get it at this point is through the draft. What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. Okay, now, here's where it gets complicated. What do the Raiders actually need? That's the million-dollar question that's tearing apart Raider Nation right now. Do we need a new head coach? Absolutely. Pete Carroll has been a disaster. Do we need a new quarterback? Well, Geno Smith has been disastrous since we traded for him. The guy had high expectations when we brought him in, but he's been absolutely terrible. Do we need offensive line help? Our line has been abysmal all season. Do we need legit wide receivers? Our receiving core isn't exactly striking fear into anyone, especially after trading Jacoby Myers. He's performing exceptionally well in the Jaguars. Do we need a defensive end? Our pass rush has been non-existent. The truth is, we need help everywhere. This roster has more holes than Swiss cheese, and that's what makes this offseason so critical. Let's start with the draft, because if we're going to be bad, we might as well get something out of it. Looking at what the Titans are targeting gives us a good blueprint, since we're in a similar position. The consensus best player available is Rueben Bain Jr. This kid is an edge rusher from Miami, and a lot of people consider him the top prospect in the entire draft. If we land that #1 pick, Bain could be the guy. Our pass rush has been invisible this year, and adding an elite edge rusher could completely transform our defense. The kid is that good. But here's the thing. We've got Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty already on this team. We've got some nice weapons on offense, but our offensive line can't keep anyone upright. Geno Smith has been getting destroyed back there. And honestly, even if we had a better quarterback, they'd be running for their lives too. That's why offensive line has to be in the conversation. If we're looking at offensive tackles, Francis Mauigoa is one of the top pass blockers in this draft. He's another Miami guy, and ironically, he actually helped Cam Ward stay upright when they were together at Miami. Spencer Fano is another name at offensive line who could go near the top of the draft. These guys could immediately upgrade our protection. Then there's the wide receiver position. We need playmakers on the outside who can actually get open and make plays. Jordan Tyson is a name that keeps coming up as a potential first-round talent. Carnell Tate is another receiver prospect who could go early. If we want to give our quarterback, whoever that ends up being, a legitimate chance to succeed, we need to surround them with talent. You can't just throw a guy out there with no weapons and a terrible line and expect them to succeed. And then there's the elephant in the room. Do we draft a quarterback? For us, it's complicated because we just traded for Geno Smith and it hasn't worked out at all. But do we really want to use a top 3 pick on another quarterback when we've got so many other needs? The top quarterback prospects in this class are Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. Mendoza is considered the top option by most people. He's well on his way to winning the Heisman Trophy for Indiana, and the kid looks legit. Dante Moore has a super high NFL ceiling and has been showcasing it at Oregon. Some people actually have Moore at the top of their big boards. There's another name that is popping up, and that's Lenora Sellers from South Carolina. He's not as polished as Mendoza or Moore, but he's got a sky-high ceiling because of his physical gifts and his ability to run the football. The thing about Sellers is that he's raw, but we still have Geno Smith under contract for a couple more years, so theoretically, Sellers could learn under the veteran until he's ready. But let's be real. Do we really want Geno mentoring our quarterback of the future? That's a scary thought. Now, here is another route we can go. If we get the first overall pick, we need to seriously consider trading down. Some quarterback-needy team is going to be desperate to move up and grab Mendoza or Moore, and we could potentially haul in a massive package of picks. With as many holes as we have, multiple first-rounders and additional picks could be more valuable than any single player. But if we stay put, I'm taking Rueben Bain Jr. Our defense needs a game wrecker, and he's that guy. Now let's talk about coaching, because this might actually be more important than who we draft. Pete Carroll has to go. There's no debate about that anymore. This hire was a disaster from day one, and we're somehow even worse than we were last year. The question is, who do we bring in to replace him? The problem is this isn't an attractive job anymore. Last year, Tom Brady struck out on his top 3 candidates. Nobody wanted this job then. Firing Pete Carroll after one season doesn't exactly make us more appealing. But there are some realistic options out there. Guys who might be willing to take a chance on us. Brian Flores is at the top of my list. He's the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator, and his defense has been incredible. Since he took over as defensive play caller in 2023, the Vikings defense has ranked 5th in EPA per play, with the 6th lowest success rate allowed to opponents. This guy knows how to run a defense, and he's got history with Tom Brady from their time together in New England. The problem is, other teams aren't willing to hire Flores because of his ongoing racial discrimination lawsuit against the NFL in 3 teams: the Broncos, Giants, and Texans. But you know what? The Raiders organization isn't afraid of going against the norm. We've never been scared to ruffle some feathers. If we hire Flores, we need to find a top-notch offensive coordinator to pair with him, but this could actually work. He might be one of the most realistic options for us. Steve Spagnuolo was another name to watch. He's the Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator, and the guy is one of the most respected names in football. He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion as an assistant coach, and his defenses in Kansas City have been elite. Since 2020, his defense ranks 9th in EPA per play. Tom Brady even called him the bane of his existence during his playing days. The benefit here? Poaching him would be a major blow to the Chiefs. Spagnuolo has expressed a desire to be a head coach again, but he's not getting many opportunities. He's on the older side, similar to Carroll, but he's still proving he's as sharp as ever. The Raiders might be his only option, and honestly, he might be ours too. On the offensive side, there's Klint Kubiak. He's the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator, but don't let that scare you. He has no ties to Pete Carroll or Geno Smith. Kubiak has the Seahawks offense ranked 11th in EPA per play, 9th in success rate, 2nd in yards per play average, and 8th in points per drive. He also spent time under Kyle Shanahan as the San Francisco 49ers passing game coordinator. This guy is only 39 years old and has worked under several respected NFL head coaches in Denver and Minnesota. If we want an offensive-minded head coach who has a track record of improving passing games, Kubiak might be the best option available to us. Then there's Adam Stenavich from the Green Bay Packers. Our offensive line is abysmal. It's the biggest reason this offense has fallen so short of expectations. Stenavich is the Packers offensive coordinator, and he's got experience working with both quarterbacks and the run game. He was also the Packers offensive line coach from 2019 to 2021 when they had one of the league's best lines. He's a Michigan alum. And if Tom Brady wants us to build through the trenches with a coach that has experience working with every unit of the offense, Stenavich could be compelling. But here's where things get interesting. There are some wild rumors floating around the internet about other potential coaches. Bill Belichick is one name that keeps getting mentioned. There's a report from Josina Anderson saying that at least 2 NFL teams are still expected to have interest in talking to Bill Belichick about head coaching jobs this carousel season. And a 3rd team could also enter the mix if one specific personnel change is made under ownership. When you read that, you can't help but think she's talking about the Raiders. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were the greatest head coach quarterback dynasty we've ever seen, with 6 Super Bowls together. But I'm going to be real with you. I have zero interest in Bill Belichick being our next head coach. The guy's up there in age, he's at North Carolina, and he's not even getting it done there. This would literally be Pete Carroll 2.0. Bill struggled in his final years in New England, he's struggling at North Carolina, and hiring him would be Mark Davis doing the exact same thing he just did, bringing in another old-name coach with a big resume who's clearly past his prime. I hope Tom Brady doesn't push for this, but the connection is there, and that's what scares me. The other name that's generating buzz is Mike Tomlin. Josina Anderson put out a tweet about a longtime NFL head coach considering wanting a change of scenery. Everyone assumes she's talking about Tomlin, and honestly, that would be interesting. Mike Tomlin is a top 32 head coach in this league. The guy has 18 straight winning seasons and he's won a Super Bowl. I know Pittsburgh fans are turning on him because they haven't won a playoff game since 2016, but 18 straight winning seasons sounds pretty damn good for the Raiders right now. So the bottom line is, this offseason is massive for the Raiders. We need to lose out, secure that top pick, figure out if we're drafting a quarterback or trading down for a haul of picks, and we absolutely need to nail the coaching hire.